Welcome to the Explainer. So, have you ever played a game where you just couldn't beat the final boss? Like, no matter what strategy you tried, you kept dying and had to start all over again. Now, I want you to imagine that exact scenario, but it's real life, and your child's life is on the line. Today, we're diving into an incredibly epic story of survival, insane power scaling, and a father's ultimate sacrifice. We're going to walk through a fascinating narrative that blends relentless action with some truly deep emotional stakes. It's basically a masterclass in how to build tension in an apocalyptic setting.
Look, I really want you to try and imagine this brutal reality. Our main character is a father named Minsuk. He was granted 99 chances by a mysterious golden-winged goddess to save his daughter, Udami, from a sudden world-ending zombie apocalypse. And every single time he failed, he literally ended his own life just to reset the loop. But now, he's on loop 100. This is it. This is his very last chance. There are no more do-overs, no more resets. The stakes absolutely could not be higher, because if he falls here, he loses his daughter forever.
So right at the start of this final run, a massive, totally unpredicted zombie horde attacks his home. It's a completely new variable that he hasn't seen in the previous 99 loops. To protect his daughter, Minsuk is brutally bitten. But here's the wild part. Instead of turning into a mindless, shambling monster, his body actually assimilates the virus. He becomes what we can really only call an S-rank zombie. His eyes turn a piercing crimson, he gains extreme regenerative abilities, and he emits an aura so terrifying that lower-level zombies literally just freeze in fear. He takes this monstrous new power and decides to become humanity's ultimate protector.
You can kind of think of his journey like clearing massive levels in a video game. He moves from Supermarket A to a heavily armed military base, then over to D City, and finally, he descends into the top-secret Gyeongdae Fortress. Let's break these locations down and see exactly how each stage pushes him to his absolute limits.
Their first major stop is Supermarket A, which is being defended by a cold, highly competent soldier named Chihari. While they're there, a terrifying new threat shows up, a massive fused zombie. And standard weapons? Bullets do absolutely nothing to its heavily mutated hide. So how does Minsuk prove his worth here? Well, he charges the beast head-on, exploiting a weak point he actually memorized from his past loops, and he literally shatters its jaw with his bare hands.
That display of sheer overwhelming power instantly gains Chihari's trust. But to get Udami and the surrounding civilians to actual safety, Minsuk has to orchestrate a massive, highly calculated breakout. He sneaks out at the dead of night, slaughters the surrounding horde to thin their numbers, and then caps the whole escape off by escorting the civilian convoy in a multi-ton road roller. He is literally crushing a bloody path right through the undead. It's a wildly cinematic victory.
Okay, moving to the next stronghold. They arrive at the 2nd Mechanized Infantry Brigade. Now this place is run by Commander Cha Pung-ho, who is an absolute unit of a man. He bench presses 230 kilograms and casually wields a massive axe. He instantly recognizes that Minsuk isn't exactly fully human anymore. So he tests Minsuk's strength in this brief, explosive physical clash. Realizing that Minsuk actually held back just to avoid hurting him, the commander accepts him, knowing that this exact kind of raw power is what his besieged base desperately needs.
But things get incredibly dark really quickly. The military's tech detects survivors trapped in a sealed subway station, which sets up a harrowing rescue mission. Deep underground, Minsuk faces a horrifying mutation known as the Skinwalker. It's a spider-type zombie that mentally tortures its prey before striking. And the most chilling part? It actually mimics his daughter's voice, crying out, "Dad!" into the darkness to break his focus. I mean, it is pure, unrelenting psychological warfare designed to prey on a father's deepest fears.
Despite that intense psychological torture, Minsuk pushes through the terror. He pins the monstrous creature with flaming punches, since fire is its major weakness, and completely obliterates it. In the aftermath of that fight, he pulls off an absolute miracle. He rescues 37 starved survivors from a completely sealed zombie-infested tomb. This impossible victory definitively proves to Commander Cha Pung-ho that Minsuk isn't a threat at all. He is quite literally the answer to humanity's survival.
But, in an apocalypse, peace never really lasts. Out of nowhere, the base is swarmed by a bizarre toad-type zombie that's spitting out infected mosquitoes. Minsuk quickly realizes this chaos is just a distraction. The real threat is the host zombie, called Slither, hiding deep in a remote, pitch-dark cave. Slither's terrifying gimmick is extreme proliferation.
it endlessly creates ravenous clones. The only way to stop it is to trap the main body and just slaughter the clones until the host simply can't regenerate anymore.
Okay, I really want you to let this number sink in. 7,130,000. Minsuk collapses the cave entrance, deliberately sealing himself inside that pitch-black cavern with the monster. And for 18 grueling, bloody hours, he slaughters every single subsidiary body Slither generates until he finally extinguishes the host. Over 7 million kills in one sitting. It's a terrifying testament to his willpower. It really makes you ask yourself, what would you be willing to endure to ensure your child wakes up safe the next morning?
Having finally secured the military base, Minsuk moves Udamai to what should be the ultimate safe haven, D-City. But here's the twist that changes absolutely everything. D-City isn't a utopia. It's actually a fanatic cult ruled with an iron fist by Mayor Baek-Do-han. And the horrifying realization hits Minsuk almost immediately. Baek-Do-han is also an S-rank zombie, just like him.
So, both of these men were granted immense power by that winged goddess, but they are polar opposites. Minsuk uses his terrifying abilities to protect his daughter and innocent lives. Baek-Do-han, on the other hand, is a false prophet. He acts as this benevolent savior during the day, demanding absolute worship from his people, while secretly devouring his own trusting followers at night to fuel his monstrous strength.
Facing an enemy with equal or maybe even greater raw power, Minsuk knows a frontal assault is just suicide. So, he executes a brilliant tactical takedown. First, he fakes absolute loyalty to Baek-Do-han. Then, when he's ordered to burn a captured rebel named Shin-Ji-woo at the stake, Minsuk fakes the execution using a body double to secretly save Ji-woo's life. Finally, knowing Baek-Do-han's highly evolved sensory nerves are easily overloaded, Minsuk and Ji-woo use extreme optical disruption, these blinding bursts of light, to completely disorient the mayor before striking from within his own sanctuary.
But Baek-Do-han refuses to go down quietly. Beaten to a pulp, he triggers a terrifying third-stage transformation into a massive blood-red beast, the tardigrade zombie. Now, this mutation has a brutal paradox to it. Its outer shell is virtually indestructible, and it actively gets tougher with every physical strike against it. But its internal organs remain completely fragile and unprotected.
Knowing he can't pierce that armor from the outside, Minsuk does the unthinkable. He literally leaps straight into the roaring, iron-fanged mouth of the tardigrade beast, armed with a running chainsaw. He ruthlessly shreds the monster apart from the inside out in this spectacularly visceral climax. With Baek-Do-han finally destroyed, Minsuk exposes the mayor's cannibalistic crimes on the city's giant broadcast screens, fully freeing D-City from its long nightmare. So the city is free, and the rebel Shin-Ji-woo steps up to take over as a true democratic leader. But Minsuk knows a grim truth. The zombies are evolving way faster in this 100th loop than in any of his previous 99 lives. Standard concrete walls and assault rifles simply aren't going to cut it anymore. They need overwhelming, devastating firepower to protect their new home, and Minsuk knows exactly where to find it.
He leads a highly skilled small strike team to Garyongdae, which is the military's top-secret joint headquarters. Deep beneath the surface, past miles of dark, abandoned corridors, lies a classified vault known as Hades' Gate. It holds a stockpile of forgotten tactical weapons. We're talking enough raw destructive power to wipe out the apocalypse entirely, or, if they happen to fall into the wrong hands, utterly destroy the last remnants of humanity.
But actually getting to the vault is a claustrophobic nightmare. Deep inside the bunker, Minsuk's team is ambushed by a completely new, terrifying threat: parasitic zombies. These are basically flesh-burrowing insects that rapidly and violently take over any living or dead host. During a desperate, bloody fight to buy time for his team to escape through a heavy security gate, Minsuk is completely swarmed, and a massive parasite violently burrows directly into his body. Now, a normal person would die an agonizing death right there, but Minsuk is an S rank. He doesn't just survive, his body aggressively assimilates the infection, awakening a terrifying new ability that he calls parasitic mode. He sprouts these massive mutated tentacles from his back. They're as hard and sharp as steel rebar, and he uses them to instantly and ruthlessly obliterate the entire parasitic horde. It is a jaw-dropping evolution of his power. Making his way even deeper into the facility, Minsuk encounters the mastermind behind the bunker's fall. It's a highly intelligent, omniscient, mutated zombie.
But this monster doesn't just attack physically, it taunts him. It actively crawls into Minsuk's mind. It calls him a defective product and a broken toy, revealing that it knows exactly who Minsuk is, and far more importantly, it knows all about the winged goddess.
And here is the massive plot twist that reframes the entire 100-loop narrative. Through the taunts of this monster, the horrifying truth is fully revealed. That golden-winged goddess who gave Minsuk his 100 chances, she isn't a savior at all. She actually wants humanity doomed. She empowered Minsuk, hoping the trauma of dying 99 times would break him, forcing him to submit and become her mindless agent of destruction. But in an incredible act of fatherly defiance, Minsuk just shoves a bundle of live grenades down the monster's throat, blowing it to pieces and officially declaring war on the goddess herself.
After the dust finally settles and the fires die down, Minsuk and his team successfully secure the Hades Gate keys. But they find one last chilling mystery. Carved frantically into the cold concrete floor of the underground bunker is a cryptic 13-digit coordinate. Someone left it there as a desperate dying message. When the rebel leader Shinji Wu converts the numbers back at base, they point to a very specific, mysterious location on the map.
That location is Ollie Road, located in a city called Senist. And that brings us to the ultimate cliffhanger of our explainer. Minsuk has evolved into an absolute powerhouse, but he is now openly defying an all-powerful cosmic goddess who wants him and his precious daughter completely destroyed. So what dark secret is waiting for them at these coordinates? Will Minsuk be able to break the cycle of the 100th loop for good, or is he ultimately destined to become the very monster he's fighting so hard against? It really leaves us questioning the true nature of power in this world and wanting to learn so much more. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.